Hello, beautiful people, and welcome here to my garden and this incredible night under the full moon and on our solstice, or in fact, I say solstice, it's actually the equinox, spring equinox here down in South Africa where I am, and autumn equinox for most of you beautiful people. Or I feel like there's so many northern hemisphere people on YouTube and I don't see that many southern hemisphere people, so here I am and I'm so excited to be here with you. Literally, this has been a dream coming for forever and ever, but if tonight is not a night to do it, well, then I don't know when is. So, welcome here. I have been thinking and umming and ahhing about what quite I want to do here for a long time, and it just gets to the point where, fuck, you need to just dive in, you know. So, what I have thought to do is a reading here with my absolute favorite deck, which is the OSHO Zen pack. And I absolutely love his teachings, his artwork, or actually it's not his artwork, but his interpretations. And yeah, it's a very, very special deck. So I'm excited to share it here with you. And the reading I'd like to do is, you know, I see so many love readings and I absolutely love them. Don't get me wrong. But I was wanting to focus more on the self and grounding the self and thinking about where those fundamentals lie for me. And it always comes back to the elements and the chakras. So I thought to do a pentacle reading on this. It's just gone the witching hours, so do a witchy reading here for all you beautiful people. And yeah, let's see where it goes. So yes, here for you. Let's see what holds in this equinox, wherever you may be. I finally started calming down about actually doing this. I've been so excited. I've just been completely on edge. And I could finally breathe and actually sit down here. So, yes, just thank you. I'm very excited to be here. Alright. I'm going to do 7 cards, I think, except here. They're flipping. They're flipping. These are glorious. So, these flipped straight out. This equates to, in the tarot, if you want an equivalent, the King of Pentacles. And right under it, and I've been shuffling these for half of the evening, so they shuffle, trust me, is flowering, which equates to the Queen of Pentacles. So it's not the best lighting, but you can get an idea of this artwork, just absolutely exquisite. And just speaking to the balance, I think that's what I've been thinking on so much. Okay, more kings and queens flipping out. Alright, let's just get into this. Exhaustion. This is an interesting one, but I feel like a lot of us have been feeling like this the last little while, especially the last maybe 2 weeks. Really just run down, feeling caught in the machine, and it just speaks to taking that breath, stepping out of it, stepping out of your mind. Okay, Ah, here we go. Hmm. This is gorgeous. Right. Crowning at the top in ether of conditioning. Now, this very much, it's as it looks, a lion in lamb's clothing. And what it speaks to in the interpretation is how the lion, no matter what it does, can never be the lamb. You can hide, you can try and stick yourself in a 9 to 5, whatever it may be. But if you are meant to roam free, you are going to roam free no matter what. So that's a beautiful overall energy. It speaks to being yourself, no matter who you are and how you are, in a world full of sheep. How relevant on so many levels. So, crowning at the top. Then, I wonder if I should go round. Yeah, okay, no, let's just go down. Okay. Then straight down to the earth element, have ordinariness. This is one of my absolutely favorite cards in the deck. And I hope you can see there all the spring blossoms. And this is just admiring the beauty of the everyday, the simplicity of the everyday. And the fact that it comes in the earth element is very reassuring for me. It's that there's that grounding energy in exactly the place where it needs to be. That going back to the garden, going back to nature, the things that connect us to ourselves and more, well, both importantly to ourselves and to each other. And so often we find that connection in nature. My mom always used to say to us, if you can get back to the garden, you'll never need therapy. I'll never worry about your sanity. Just get back to the garden. And I feel like we can always find those connections in nature, you know. Now, underwater. I'm so happy this came out. I know I probably am going to say this about everything, but I think this genuinely is my favorite card, or my second favorite. It's top tied, which is silence. Now, if you want the tarot, just look at that. How beautiful. This world we live in. So the tarot equivalent is the star, which in and of itself, it's your dream come true, it's your wish come true. And again, the fact that this comes out under the water section is so fitting. I feel like we've all felt so scattered and in so many different directions, just everywhere. And coming back to a grounding in those core places is just allowing us to breathe, is allowing us that space forward. So, I'm just so glad this came out. It's just a complete embodiment of the magic of everything that is this night and is the world we live in. So beautiful. When everything else is going wrong, you can always look at the stars, you know. So underwater. Then in air, have the past lives. Now, this speaks to a lot of what is hidden, a lot of getting stuck, obviously, on focusing on the past. And under air, that's very much the mind element. So again, I think it's been a lot of the energies that I've certainly been experiencing, and I feel like a lot of my nearest and dearest have been experiencing, of really rehashing the past the last couple of weeks. And, you know, the past has its place. I was having such an interesting conversation actually with my grandmother, who was saying, you know, just get over it. And she was saying how people have such a problem with her attitude of just get over it, but how it is also so self-preserving and so necessary actually in this life. Of course, there's a time to go through and grieve. I mean, I'm not saying in every situation, absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it is also just healthy to not be looking at the past, or rather not be looking at the past, not be looking at the future, to just be in that in-between moment where we all know the magic happens, the now happens. That's where we exist. It's not in these places. And getting so caught up on them and the grieving about them, and where that really truly doesn't serve us, especially getting caught up in the mind. And we're all guilty of it. I'm incredibly guilty of it. Sorry, that's just my dog. Hello. Always have to be in on the action. But yeah, and what this card really goes back to for me is it brings such a reminder. Look, not this is what I interpret from it, but it brings such a reminder of death. And I feel like death has such a negative stigma, obviously, but how it is the ultimate reminder, in fact, of how precious what we have is. So this caught up in the mind, caught up in the past. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of talking in sort of circles here, but yeah, it's that in between, you know, and not waiting for death to come into our life, or needing to experience that lesson so harshly to bring us into the now, because obviously death does it quite extremely, but there are easier ways, which brings us to, interestingly, in the fire element, we have pure water with turning in. Now, everything I was saying about the past lives and the noise of all of that, especially in that mind, turning in, don't know if you can see this, how she's surrounded by all these voices, all the mind, all the external, and it's coming back to that self. Always. It's always coming back to yourself, however you do it, through meditation, through going to the garden, like we were saying, through, I was thinking something extreme, like going and drinking a bottle of whiskey. I wouldn't totally recommend that, but to each their own. However you come into it, you know, it's coming back to that self in the best way you can. And that leads us to our final. Encircled by, beautiful people, completion. Literally the last one in the deck. It is the World, Wheel of Fortune. And it's the completing of the puzzle. What more can I say? Literally. And the great face of the Buddha beyond. You know, it's what we're all here for. Underneath it all, it's interesting that this came out, because it's one of the cards I have a complex relationship with, but underneath the deck, nevertheless, is laziness. Now, it equates to the 9 of Cups, so essentially, it's very, very faint here, but there's a bird there in the distance, and the ultimate message is we need to get as uncomfortable as we need to leave our comfort zone. He's in the lap of luxury, but the bird is speaking to what lies on the next horizon. Sorry, did I say that? But what lies beyond. And although he's surrounded by this beautiful crystal, it's all on the verge of cracking. He's needing to get to that absolutely uncomfortable place before he can move on to the next thing. And it is, we forget that that period of growth is so uncomfortable. My friend came up with a gorgeous analogy of when a plant is growing and the shoot is literally coming out from the stem. That's essentially, it's like if you look at it, it's a hole in the plant, it's a wound almost, and next thing this mutant part of it, this other part of it just shoots out. And that must be incredibly painful. Growth is incredibly painful, but we look at it and it's just something coming into flower, the bud growing, It's easy to look at when it's like that. When it's us, it fucking hurts. It really fucking hurts. So, underneath that even, not to get, okay, there we go. That's a good place to leave. Oh, Lord, okay. That's the perfect place to leave it. There we go. So, sorry, did I say 7? 10's a good number. Sorrow, as it says, we often need to just be in these places, in these difficult places, and relinquish to it and be okay with that. And for myself, I find depression is a very easy thing to slip into. However, when I also get myself to that middle point and stop fighting the depression, stop fighting to be somewhere else and just be in it for that second, it immediately passes through. It's like that's what you need to just get to the other side and reach harmony between the heart and the mind, heart and the mind coming together. And I love how it creates a half heart with these dolphins. And ending with truly one of Osho's most gorgeous interpretations, transformation. And if you recognize the number, you'd know this is death in the tarot deck, but as we all know, death is the ultimate transformation, and not as ugly a one or as harsh a one as I think we've been so cultured to believe. It's sad and it hurts and it can be very difficult to go through, but it is our greatest teacher. I feel like I can hear you better, me better, but our greatest teacher. So this is an incredible spread. I don't know if I've made any sense in what I've said to you, but just blessings. And yeah, I look forward to this journey wherever this may go. And I really hope that this is a time of true reflection and true breathing, truly exhaling and breathing for you. So much love to you, whoever you are and wherever you are, and thank you for being here, and all my love. Bye.